Hello, everybody. Welcome to the show. I have with me the beautiful Mimi from Mimi's Holistics. How you doing, hun?
I am doing great. Thank you.
Good. It's so good to see you. I'm so happy you're here.
And thank you for having me back.
I love having you back. And I think people really like having you on. It's really good to see you. It's kind of a nice switch up, a nice change. It's always good to get a different perspective as well. I love it. How's your week been?
It's been great, actually. I've been getting a lot of things done. We're doing a lot of construction in the house. So Miguel has been doing a lot. He even finished up my toddler's bed. He created a floating bed. I don't know if you've seen those. It's like all over TikTok and Pinterest. But basically, he does a small base at the bottom of the bed, which creates like a space all around the top frame of the bed. So it looks like there's nothing holding the bed. And then you add LED lights at night and it looks like the bed is in the air. It's really cool.
I've seen that. That looks so cool. What color of lights are you doing?
So I'm going to get her LED lights where I can change the colors to it.
Yeah.
So yeah,
that's Amazon what I'm gonna has get some really good ones, some like inexpensive ones, and they're pretty big. I actually did almost like a good portion of my room, like with one strip, and it like, so you probably need like maybe two, or they were so cheap.
Yeah.
They were awesome.
We had gotten on Amazon too for the girl, and yeah, it was super cheap. It was awesome. So I'm gonna get that for sure.
That's excellent. So I just want to, oh, hey, Will, how's it going? I just wanted to respond to some of the comments so far in the chat. Remember that you do have to be a subscriber to be in the chat. If you are watching from Facebook or the I Want to Believe channel, please make sure that you are a subscriber to Oracle Intuitions. Go on and watch my show from there. I more or less just stream it on the I Want to Believe channel. And if that's where you're watching it, we sometimes can't always see all the messages that come through. So we want to make sure we're not missing anyone. And I do mostly pay attention to the chat that's coming through with Oracle Intuitions. Hey, Will, how's it going? And Jessica, that's fine. We will try to do a timestamp, for you at some, I don't know if I'll be able to put it into the message, but you'll basically be the first reading because you're the first one that came in. So it'll be right after our, I guess, what I call our commercial break. So you will be the first reading after that. And that's usually about 20 minutes, maybe 30 minutes in. It just really depends on how long I tend to yap for. Right. So one of the things that, and hi, I love T. Thank you so much. I'm putting your name down too. And just make sure that you give us your question, please, in the chat so that we can make sure that your question is here. Okay. You don't have to do it right now because I don't want it to get lost in the chat, but just make sure that you do place your question fairly soon. So one of the things that Mimi and I were talking about, and I'd asked her, she was experiencing this throughout the week as well. So a lot of you know, not only do I do private readings, which you can contact me through oracleintuitions.com, and you can book a reading live through my website there. And it is a live reading. It's a full hour or half hour, depending on what you choose. And it is a one-on-one conversation, kind of like you see Mimi and I here now. So this is how my readings go. It usually does send a link, but if you don't want to use the link that is provided, I can always do a reading over Messenger or, WhatsApp or Instagram, something like that, as long as it has a video and it's a social media type of site. And also, if you want to contact Mimi, you can contact her through Mimi's Holistics, and her link is, she is on TikTok, and you can contact her through, well, you can make sure that you follow her on TikTok first of all, but the link for her Linktree, her Etsy store, is on her TikTok as well. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah. So one of the things that we were talking about today, because not only do I work through my website, I also work through an app called Purple Ocean. And if you want a really quick reading, you can always, join me there. It's, you can book in, like a 10-minute reading or whatever, or wait till I come online, which is fairly often. But one of the things I really noticed this week, and I asked Naomi about it, was the difference between patience and waiting. And a lot of people get really confused because sometimes we'll say to people, look, you have to have patience, or you might have to have patience, in this situation, whether this is romance, whether this is, whatever, financial, career, however, but usually, it usually comes up more often in romantic relationships, right? Or in romance questions. And I really wanted to talk to you guys about this because when we mention patience, people tend to get it confused with waiting, and that is really where it hurts people, and it hurts not only people, but it hurts the connection, right? Because when we're waiting, just a little scenario. So if you're waiting, let's say you put a pot on the stove to boil. Okay, you're making spaghetti. All right, putting the pot on the boil to boil. You're going to put in the spaghetti. But if you stand there and you're watching this pot and you're waiting for it to boil, it's kind of like, that old expression, waiting for a pot to boil. It takes forever. And you're waiting, and what you're doing is you're watching one little bubble and then another bubble, and then, you know what I mean? So you're basically, what you're doing is you're actually creating a lot of frustration, and you're creating a lot of anxiety as you're waiting for this, because it might only take 2 or 3 minutes, or maybe up to 10 minutes to boil that water, but this seems like an eternity. And when we're in that place of waiting, that water is going to take a long time. Same within relationship. But when we have that energy of patience, okay, so let's say we put that same pot onto the burner, and we go and do something else. Okay, so maybe during the process of waiting for it to boil, or knowing that it's going to boil, patience is knowing that something is going to happen, and you're just more or less living your life until this particular thing happens. When I put a pot on the water and I turn on the burner, I know it's going to boil. I know that. So I don't need to stand over it. I don't need to watch it. I don't need to wait for that first little bubble, or for some evidence that the water is going to boil. Patience is knowing that water is going to boil. And so I can go away and I can go do other things. And you know what? In the process of this water boiling, and knowing that the water is going to boil, and I'm off living my life, in the X amount of time that it takes, maybe I see a potato that I want to try cooking instead that doesn't need the water. And so I might actually just change my plan and start cooking the potato. Do you see what I'm saying? And maybe that water isn't as exciting to me as it was now the potato. And the reason that I say a lot of things like this is because when we're in the patience, or in the energy of waiting for this water to boil, and we're not living our lives and doing the things that we want to do, we're standing over this water. It's kind of like watching people on social media. Well, I'm waiting for him. So what's he doing today? What's he doing now? What's he doing, at this minute? Who's he with? Oh my God, I saw a picture of a car. He must be in a car with this people, this people, this people. And we hear about this all the time. People that are like obsessed with like what this person is doing on social media, or what this person is doing, and meanwhile this person is off living their life. They're just doing what it is that they do. But when we have the patience, and we're going off and we're living our life, and we're just doing what it is, and we have a space open, if this person comes back in an energy that is going to be nourishing, fulfilling for me, it's kind of like the pasta. Is the pasta nourishing for me? Is it fulfilling for me? Or do I like the potato better? Hey, the potato looks really damn good. You know what I mean? And the potato is filling, and it's nourishing, and all of this stuff, right? So that might be where the place is that you have to look at within yourself and go, if I'm just waiting, and I'm waiting for this person, I'm waiting for this person to contact me, I'm waiting for this person, to throw me a bone, or, to do this or to do that, we're really stuck in an energy where it's going to feel and take forever that something is being created or manifested. But we're in a places of patience. And, especially within a situation where one or both people aren't quite ready to bring together the energy of this relationship, because there might be learning lessons or healing that needs to happen or whatever. If we're just off living our lives, it's amazing not only how it clears up the energy of the relationship in general, but it also allows you to do your own healing, your own moving forward, and just basically your general living your life. And along that path, you might see something or meet somebody that is way better than this waiting, because a lot of times waiting ends up in disappointment. 99% of the time that I've seen people waiting for somebody, it ends up in an energy of disappointment. And so I'm just going to let you kind of add in to that, Nami. Do you have any? I babbled a
It's
little.
kind of like the whole boiling pot situation. If the pot was a person, you're sitting there and you're like breathing over this person's neck, and it's
Mm-hmm.
like, just chill, keep your mind clear, do something else, um, do something that you like, that keeps you preoccupied. If you know that that person's meant to be in your life, or you were already told in a reading that there may be a reconciliation, let time do its thing, which where the patient comes in. You need to be patient. Let things
Absolutely.
flow and happen naturally,
Yeah.
versus sitting here and like forcing something to happen right now, and then you drive yourself crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Just go about your life. And if it's meant to come, if that person's meant to come, then they'll come. Just let things flow.
Absolutely. I'm just going to respond to a couple of the chat questions here. Marlene, the donation link is actually it's scrolling across the screen. I hope I said that right. Scrolling across the screen. You can pay through PayPal at crogers5555 at gmail.com. Make sure there's 4 5s, because a lot of people forget the fourth 5. um, or if you are in Canada, you can donate through e-transfer at the same email address. Also, Samantha is asking about, can we do just a general reading? We can, but I'll be honest with you. It's probably better if if you do have a question, because a general reading is going to be really general. I can do them, like, for somebody that's been on the show several times, like Miguel, it's a little bit easier because I can tap into their energy faster. But if you have something specific or an area of where it is that you want us to look, that's way better. Just simply because sometimes it can take a little bit to tap into the energy for a general reading. Okay. And Mitty, I hope I said your name right. Welcome. I think you were here last week, I do believe.
Yeah.
I think she was. Yeah. Good to see you again. And good to see you too, Samantha. And Marlene, thank you so much. So, but yeah, the other thing is too, is that when we're waiting, we get frustrated and we get anxious. And I think I mentioned that, a little bit, like, and what happens is when we get frustrated and anxious is that we tend to doubt ourselves, and we tend to doubt the connection. We tend to doubt the person, and then we start looking for flaws within
Yeah.
ourselves or with the other person. We start looking at every little thing that they're doing. Like, it really becomes a cycle, and it's a negative cycle. And so when we're sitting there in that energy, it really doesn't allow us to grow. But also, just with the law of attraction itself, is that when we keep bringing in this frustration and anxiety, what are we going to get? We're projecting frustration and anxiety. So we're going to receive more frustration and anxiety,
And then
right?
you make
And
yourself miserable.
exactly. And then we wonder, well, the psychic said this, or, but the psychic probably said have patience. But again, patience isn't waiting. Patience is off doing your life, going and doing whatever it is that you need to do, or whatever it is. Like, go have fun doing whatever it is that you want. Also, guys, if I do freeze, please let me know in the comments, because I can't tell if I'm freezing, because to me it's good. But My internet's a little bit wonky, so just let me know. Can you hear me, Namie?
I'm watching it on my end, and we kind of went blank a couple of times and then came right back 5 seconds later.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So we'll have to see what happens, I guess. Hopefully it doesn't get too crazy here. All right. And then we have, I'm just, sorry, we just got a new one in here. So I'm just writing it down. Eliza. Okay. Make sure you guys let us know that you donated as well, just so that we know who you are. And, please also put your question and into the comment section so that we can take a look at it as well. All right. Okay. Awesome. So I'm not sure who Eliza is, but if you could just, again, place, Luna. Hi, Luna. How are you? All right. And make sure that, again, that you put your question into the comment section, just so we know what we're looking into. All right. Yeah. So I think that, as we progress, like as humans and even as readers, I think, it's probably a good idea. And it's always good to remember that the universe is really always listening to us. And sometimes we tend to forget, like the universe is always listening to us. It's listening to our subconscious minds. It's listening to the energy that we're throwing out. So if we're also in a place of, okay, I'm going to pretend not to wait for this particular thing. I'm going to pretend that I'm off doing my life, but really I'm moping on the inside and I'm still watching and I'm still, paying attention and I'm still logging on, and checking their account or doing whatever it is that they're doing. That's not really the true energy of patience or releasing the energy. Okay. And so, it's not a bad idea, because sometimes even throughout the day, what I'll do is I'll stop and do a body check, and ask myself, where's my energy right now? What am I focused in on? What am I paying attention to? What am I, what energy am I sending out into the universe? And when you kind of ground yourself and you go into that place of, looking at what it is that the universe might be receiving, it sure does help you raise your vibration. It allows you to have some responsibility for your own actions and your own thoughts and feelings as you're moving throughout the day. So, if you get a chance, right, if you find yourself in that energy again of waiting or, being non-patient, I guess is the best way to say it, just stop and do a little bit of a body check and see where you are. So we actually got, quite a few readings coming through here, which is awesome. Just remember, guys, that there are some things that we can't read on. For instance, we won't read on health. We don't read, well, I think Namie does read on pregnancy, I believe, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And also, legal issues, please. We don't, legal issues. There are some things that are just morally irresponsible for us to read on. And one of them is going to be health. Pregnancy isn't, irresponsible. It's just something that I may or may not be able to do. So, if a pregnancy one came in, I might just hand it to Namie and I'll see what comes through at that time, for me. And it might even just be a general message that spirit wants you to know. It may not have anything to do, with with pregnancy. It might be just a general message. But and again, law. We can't read on law. Okay. And that's more for just legal complications and all of that stuff, because we're not lawyers, we're not doctors. So, there's only so much that we can do a reading on. Also, I really prefer not to spy on everybody's life. So if people are coming in, with a third party question, I can look at the energy between you and the person. I prefer not to really look at the energy between that person and another person, simply because of the fact that, to me, that's kind of that's spying, and I'm not here as a webcam for you. I guess that's the best way to say it. I can be, I can look at the energy, between the two people, you and somebody else, but Yeah. And also, Austin, absolutely you can get a reading. You know, if we do have time at the end of the show, we may be doing a poll for some a lottery question. We will see at the end of the couple of hours, because we really only want to try to be here till about 8 o'clock Mountain Time. So if we have time, we will do a reading. Otherwise, all of the reading information, how to get a reading guaranteed tonight, is going across the screen, and they are all donations. Mark, hello. It's so good to see you. We're thankful for you watching. And we welcome everybody. So what we're going to do is I'm just going to get everything settled here. I'm just going to take a look. Is that enough time for you to check your thing, Naomi?
Yeah, yeah.
If we were to take a break now, is that okay?
Yeah, definitely. We can
Okay.
get started. Take a quick break. Yeah.
Okay. So when we get back, I'm just going to go, we're just going to take a quick break. This allows us to grab some coffee, grab some water, run to the bathroom, fun stuff like that. When we get back, we are going to start with Jessica. And I know Jessica can't watch, till a little bit later. So I am going to try to mark it as a timestamp in here, but we'll see what happens. But yeah, when we get back, we will be starting with Jessica. It'll be Miguel, Love Tea, and then Eliza after that. And so just remember, guys, if you do want a reading, make sure that you let me know that you've donated and put your questions into the comment section. All right, we will be right back, guys. See you in a minute.
Samantha knows how to do it.
Okay. Well,
She already told her.
Okay, I didn't see.
Yeah.
All I see.
And then Kathy told her twice where to
and
donate.
then Samantha said hi again.
Oh,
Are you not acknowledging her?
She tells me. Take her to the bathroom now because all that crying.
Maybe it's not the crying, it's because the mom's phone.
We're back. We're back. We're back. We're back. Okay. So, okay. Fabiola, I did receive your donation. Thank you so much. Also, too, if you can, please give us the name and at least the sun sign of the person that you're asking about, and as well as your sun sign, please. I should mention that we do need names and sun signs at least. So just place that also into the comment section. So we're going to get into the readings, and our first one is going to be Jessica. So Jessica, I'm just going to read, the message that you wrote. I'm not going to include, obviously, full names or anything like that. So there is anonymity in here. All right. Just give me 1 second. I just got to go to, here we go. So Jessica was asking about somebody by the name of Ori. Jessica is, I believe, an Aquarius. She's actually right on the cusp here of Capricorn and Aquarius. And Ori is a Pisces. And she says, our families are close and we started talking and then he became distant. He comes and goes. He has told me he has feelings and he loves me multiple times, asked me to go to a wedding in September, has mentioned having kids with me. We are not talking right now. So I think what she wants to know is, what's going on here within this relationship.
So I'm already currently picking up that they are meant to be together at this time. I am getting long-lasting relationship for you guys as well.
Oops.
So I am getting long-lasting relationship. At this time, I'm not getting that it'll be forever. But I mean, long-lasting can be a couple of years. Give me a second. Let me pull some cards for her. Did they stop talking or are they still in communication?
I think that this is part of his come and go, if from what I'm understanding, because he tends to come out of the relationship and go, goes distant, comes back, all of this stuff.
Okay, because I'm getting reconciliation for them. So he's going to be coming back again. He's going to be coming back again, and I'm getting that there needs to be some kind of compromise. I think there needs to be, you need to be clear about what you want with Ori so that there's a mutual understanding between the two of you. Yeah, that's what I'm getting. I mean, once that communication happens and you say, hey, this is what I like, this is what I want out of this relationship, where are you at with me? Are we on the same level? Are you on a different level? Be clear about it. Because once you're open about it, you'll be able to work in agreement within each other. You guys will be able to figure out where you guys stand and where you guys will go. And then from that point forward, there's going to be changes for you guys within the relationship. I'm getting good changes. I'm not getting anything bad. Good changes at this time. That's all I'm picking up for her at this time for this relationship. I am getting that they will get back together and they are meant to be together at this moment.
Okay. So two of the cards that I actually pulled, and just with the energy. So when I work, I actually use, I do use cards, occasionally if I feel like, I need to pull cards, or if I want to pull cards, or more for a visual reference. But usually the cards either correspond with what it is that I'm already thinking, or, or I'll be thinking what the cards already have to say, type of thing. but basically we work in unison together. So I did actually end up pulling the King and Queen of Cups. So this is a really good energy. This is a positive energy, right? This is two people, that do show that there is that potential for, that long lasting relationship. Sort of like what Mimi says, I would never say to anybody, you're going to be together forever and ever and ever, simply because of the fact that, we can't really predict that, in general. I mean, things can happen, right? But it does show long term. I do get here, though, that he does go through his periods of disinterest or focusing in more of himself. And it's, and this is coming through with that Four of Cups energy, and it's also coming through with the Five of Cups, which indicates you, because you're going to go into a place of sadness of some sort, right? But what I'm really getting, from Ori is that there seems to be this energy of there does seem to be a little bit of energy of breadcrumbing here going on. Okay. And I think that this is something, as Naomi said, that needs to be addressed and talked about. All right. Because when we talk about breadcrumbing, this is somebody who comes forward and is kind of placing somebody on a shelf by saying, I'm going to be right back. I love you so much. Here, this is what I want to do with our future, yada, yada, yada. But then their actions are off doing something else, or placing their attention somewhere else. And this doesn't mean with another person. This means that they're focused in on themselves. They could be playing basketball, baseball. Maybe they're watching TV, playing video games, working. It doesn't matter. But, people don't belong on a shelf. Right? That's the basic, bottom line here. People don't belong on a shelf. So I do feel that some of, his words, even though there is meaning behind them, and he does mean them when he says them, he also knows that by, saying particular words, he can also, let you be for a bit, because you're hanging on to that energy. And that's what really needs to stop here. Okay. And this is where that confrontation comes through. And I do feel that, as Naomi said, by doing that confrontation, and when we talk about confrontation, please, don't take this as that energy, where you're waving your finger at somebody. This is basically saying, show me respect. If you actually care about me, you're going to show me the respect of placing the attention within this relationship that I actually deserve, rather than the attention that you think I deserve at the moment. And you're going to show this on a consistent basis, because, here's the bottom line. I mean, if he brings up kids again, I would honestly look at him and go, why would I want to have kids with somebody who can't learn to pick up the fucking phone? Right?
Consistency.
Like, do I look stupid? You know what I mean? Right. Is basically it, right? Why would I want to have kids, or why would I want to be married to somebody who can't remember, the fact that I exist yesterday or today, but you remember that I existed yesterday. So, like, why would I want to have kids with somebody like that? Like, this is somebody, that you're basically saying to, if you want me in your life, you've got to be consistent. And you've got to show me the respect that I deserve as somebody that you're saying that you care about. And, there's really nice ways to say it, probably not as forceful as I just did, but there are ways to say it. But that's really the bottom line, right? Like, there's got to be consistency here. You can't just come and go and breadcrumb a person, because that's very disrespectful, not only to the relationship, but to the person themselves. And that's really what I feel is sort of going on here. And yes, Kay, it is still okay to donate. Absolutely. Just make sure that you put your question down below. But what I do get here is that there will be a change of this energy. And I do feel that by, saying something along this lines to him, it will help. Now, here's the thing. If he decides that he's going to disappear again after you say that, which can sometimes happen, right? They tend to back away because, oh, you called them out. God forbid. You called them out on bad behavior. How dare you? Right? That's where you just sort of take a step back. And the next time he comes forward, just say, you know what? You're kind of showing me who you are. You're showing me who you are. You're showing me what you're about. And it's going to be up to you to change this behavior. right? Because again, you know, we have to stop being, as people, and I don't mean men or women, we have to start at some point really stop being too generous, right? With our time, our energy, our patience. You know, it's okay to be, again, in that place of patience. But, you know, at the same time, if this guy's, you know, breadcrumbing and saying he wants children with you and he wants marriage with you, I mean, you know, it would only be a really silly person that would marry a person and give them babies, which are the blessing of life, to somebody who, you know, can't figure out how to dial a phone or to dial you.
Right.
So, you know, that's something that you have to think about and be in that place of. Otherwise, you know, looking at the energy and just looking at the cards, it does show here. I also got the 10 of coins, which does talk about, you know, that long-term future, making planning, making a commitment towards some sort of future going through here. So, and I hope we answered your question. Okay. Because I do feel, and we both feel that, you know, there is a reconciliation that is coming through here, but there does need to be that talk. There does need to be, you know, that time for talking coming in here. Okay. So, Whitney, I can put you onto the list if we do have time for a lottery at the end of the show, but I can't guarantee that we'll have time. Okay. So I just want to let you know, but I will put your name down, and you know, we'll kind of just leave it at that for the moment. So thank you so much, Jessica. We truly appreciate, your question today. And I hope that gave you some clarity, because I do feel there is absolutely a chance here, for the long-term future, right? Again, can't say forever, but nobody really can, with any situation, right? But there is a good possibility here, and we both felt that. So second is Miguel. And Miguel just wants a general read. He wants to know what he needs to know.
All right. So let me shuffle the cards. I think I've picked up this for him before. That he needs to let go. He needs to let go of something. He needs to let go of maybe some people or things in the past. He needs to let go of being worried so much, as well as having doubts.
100%.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm getting, once you let go of all of that, everything else is going to come smoothly. Everything is going to happen naturally. And once you let go of all of those doubts and things and people from the past, or, past situations, all these worries and doubts, there's opportunity for you. There's big opportunity. There's abundance coming as well. And that's what I'm getting at this time. I'm also getting one more thing. Get more information. And this is more in regards to your abilities or your intuitive gifts. To continue to work on that, get more into your energy work. And I'm thinking that's also where that opportunity is coming forth for you as well. And that's what I'm getting at this time, Kathy.
So, okay, the one, don't hate me, Miguel. Okay. One of the things that I actually got here for you was, there is an energy that's coming through here that you learn something and you get really excited about it, and you actually, stay in that energy for a little bit. But then when you sort of hit a wall, there comes an area of not really pushing through that wall. In some ways, it's almost like you let the wall kind of take over rather than you taking over the wall. I don't know if that makes any sense to you. But I do get that energy coming through here. So basically what it's showing me is that you work really hard towards something. Okay, like I did get the Eight of Pentacles, but I'm also getting this energy of like, you will dedicate, your time to something, and to learning it, or constructing it, or whatever it is, especially within the spiritual side. And this brings an energy of joy or happiness, to you. But then, here's the thing with spirit, right? Is that spirit challenges us, because in order to get over, a hump, or over to, in order to get to the next phase or path of our spiritual journey, there's going to be some challenges coming through. And what happens is that sometimes when you reach those challenges, that's where you get, the frustrated, or, the doubt within yourself, or the energy of like, oh, what do I do next? Or, it almost seems like, okay, I'll just sit here for a bit. I'll just wallow in these gifts that I actually got right now, but I really want to go forward, but I don't know if I want to go over the wall. And that's really what spirit is telling me. So they're really asking you to, especially with this hangman coming through, because hangman is about internal contemplation, right? And it's really talking about here, challenge yourself to go over the wall. So even though you might not like, some of the methods that you may have to do, or maybe, there might be excuses as to time, in regards to it, or whatever it is that it may be. It's basically saying, spirit really has, I want to say spirit has plans for you. And I actually really want to say spirit has plans for the both of you. So this is also for you, Namie. Spirit has plans for the both of you to move forward together, in this timeline on a spiritual level. And I feel like you might not have the same gifts as each other, but it's going to complement, each gift is going to complement the other. So, it's almost like, when you watch movies, and you see twins or something, and somebody will say hi, and the other one's, how are you? And the other one's, like that. And that's what I kind of get, with your gifts, right? Like, Namie will have some gifts, and you'll have some, and there's going to be, intercrossing ones, but at the same time, you're both growing, and, there's that growth level that's coming in and happening for you. The only thing is that, there's no rush. And I think that that's where a lot of people get really lost in the spiritual realm, or the moving forward. There isn't any rush. If you feel that you're not ready for next level, that's a little bit different than looking at the wall and going, I can't cross that wall. Maybe, there's times where, just as a really quick example, there, especially when I started doing mediumship, I really wasn't sure if I wanted to do mediumship. I did want to do it, but at the same time, I was really scared about it. You know what I mean? Because even though I was receiving a lot of the information that was coming over from those that had passed over, there were some really shitty things that I actually ended up seeing that I really didn't want to see. And these, even though they're passed over people, they're not always people, is what I was seeing. And so, especially because I did do paranormal investigation. And so, we would walk into some places, and I'm telling you, there's some shit I didn't want to see. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, there is, so you had to put it into a different, a different level and a different perspective. So it was constantly like, I guess, challenging myself. Like, what am I going to see this time? What am I going to run into? Am I going to run into, Grandma Betty, or am I going to run into, what the fuck is this thing that I have no idea that I am seeing? Blah. Like, and that can change. But basically, when you allow yourself to get into that place of, I'm ready for this. This is where you can tackle the wall. But don't be scared about not tackling the wall, because the wall is, the next step is coming to you for a reason. And if spirit didn't think that you were ready for the next step, they wouldn't present it to you in some way, or you wouldn't even be curious about that next step. And as we talked about before, Miguel, I really keep seeing angel work for you coming through. And I kept seeing this, and I've actually been seeing this for a while. I just keep seeing a lot of angel work. And I know that, especially with men, they can be a little bit more skeptical in regards to angelic, because, there might be a stigma maybe attached to angelic work, right? But I do keep seeing this coming through. And this is where, I do feel like, even sitting, for quietly like 5 minutes and scribing, or, just writing down things. I actually just recently started scribing, and sometimes I just sit here and I just doodle, and I'm like, oh, what the heck is this? And it'll be, in regards to the reading that either is about to come or just happened. I mean, I'm sitting here with my pen, like, the last few weeks all the time. And a lot of things that are coming through that I'm just kind of letting channel coming in will really make a difference, right? It might not make sense to you at first, and that's okay. That's okay. It might make sense to you in a week or so, or maybe it'll never make sense to you at all. But you're allowing that channel to open, and that's what I keep feeling for you. So I hope that's helped, Miguel. I hope that gave you some sort of sense of clarity coming through. I felt like that was channeled. Like I actually okay, because I just couldn't stop talking. So Rafaela, we can put you on a lottery list. We cannot guarantee that we are going to be getting to the lottery today. I'm not putting any guarantee on that because we do try to shut it down by 8 o'clock. So if you do want to guarantee a reading, all of the information is scrolling across the screen. Samantha, if we can just thank you so much for donating. We truly appreciate it. Just also make sure that your question is in the comments below, as well as your birth sign and any other person's birth sign as well coming through there. So we're going to go to Love Tea, and I'm just going to check what her question was, because I did see it up here. Just give me 1 second. I just got to find her. Okay. So Love Tea is an Aries, and Ricky is a Capricorn, and she would like to know Ricky's thoughts, feelings, and intentions towards her. Love Tea, have you spoken to Ricky lately? I just to kind of give me some clarity here. And if you could just put that down below. And you're so welcome, Miguel. I'm so glad it helped. Yeah. And Love Tea, if you can just tell us if you have spoken at all in the last little while. I think my comments show up late on here, but let's see. Yes, she has yesterday. And is this the same person from school? I just want to clarify. I'm pretty sure it is.
So I am getting that he does think about her. He does have good intentions for her, and interested in a relationship with her as well. Is this a new person or it's recent?
I think this is a past person, actually. I'm pretty sure. It's a past person here. Yeah, she said it is. So
okay, but they reunited, or
yeah, I think so. If you can just give us a little bit of clarity here, Love Tea, if you don't mind. This is the past person from school, or the one that we've read on, several times, and I think I did mention that he was going to be coming back, like you guys hadn't talked for a while. Is that correct? I believe it's that same person. I just want to clarify. I just don't want to check different energy and not so I'll just let her kind of, I'll give her a few minutes. I think there's like a 10-second delay or something like that. So
yeah, there is. Yeah.
We'll let her type it out.
So yeah, so far I am getting good intentions from Ricky. I am getting he's interested in a relationship with her. He does, have romantic feelings for her, thinks about her. But when I was shuffling through my deck, I got a new love. Like this new love has stirred feelings for her. So I don't know if maybe they, if they weren't speaking before and then they just started speaking again. I still consider that new love, like,
Yeah, absolutely. I do too. Yeah. It's
fresh,
a new
brand
energy
new.
within the love, right?
I'm sorry.
It's a new energy with the love.
Yes, yes, and I'm getting she needs to be assertive, like she needs to take this situation in her hands as well, um to be clear on your feelings for him to understand what you feel, and what he's feeling in this situation as well. So communication, again, I'm getting, there needs to be that moment that you guys communicate and tell each other you guys' feelings, and what you're looking into this relationship with him, if you're wanting to pursue and continue a relationship with him. And don't water things down to make him happy. Like, be honest. This is how I am, this is how I feel, or this is what I want. Don't just say, oh yeah, yeah, I want that too, because that's what he likes. No, just let him know. Be clear, how you feel and what you want. And thank you, baby. And your own needs are nothing that you have to apologize for, and whoever is meant to be with you, and if he wants this relationship with you, he'll respect you for who you are, what you want, and what you like, and what you want in a relationship. So don't tailor yourself, your actions, or who you are for anybody. Okay. um and I'm getting that once you guys have that talk, when he understands your feelings and you understand his, things between you guys will improve and eventually, move forward. And that is what I'm getting for her at this time, and good intentions from him as well.
I did too. I'm gonna so it really feels like, okay, the first one of the first cards that actually pulled through was the Hermit. Okay, it also came through with the Palace of Swords. So the Palace of Swords really talks about mental energy, a lot of thoughts that are coming through, a lot of clarity that comes through, especially with the swords. And it does feel as though, even though there was that distance that the two of you had, it feels like it was actually progressive distance. Okay. I really do feel also with this Knight of Wands that's coming through, he may have put a little bit of a barrier around himself in regards to other people, meaning like, he didn't really open up towards others, or he didn't open up towards, when we have that Nine of Wands coming through, the Nine of Wands can really talk about, it's almost like I feel like he put up some sort of defense in a way in order to allow himself to go into the energy of clarity. Okay. I guess that's the best way to say it. He sort of emerged as, I feel like he almost went into the energy as the Page of Coins, but he's coming out as the King of Coins. So the King of Coins is really somebody who's gone through a lot of inner work. Okay. They're not coming through as immature or as immature. Like he's working towards that king energy. All right. What I'm also getting here too is it really does feel like, it's interesting because again, as a couple, we've got the king and the queen coming through. Okay. So, for me, when I look at the king and queen, they're not, I kind of really like the king and queen of coins. Some people don't, because, it depends on how they view, the tarot. But when I look at the king and queen of coins, it really does talk about maturity. It's people that have put the work into developing themselves. They're not like, the cups, which is all emotion, so they're like, we love you. I love you too. La, 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 la. Right? They're not the ones where they're just spending all their day in bed, kind of, or that passion, or I'm excited about this. Yes, I must follow and do this too. That kind of, it's not that energy. And it's not the swords where there's, they get along well, right? But it's kind of lacking that emotional. They're more married because of the fact of, or they're more together because of the fact of that they, they have common interests. It's like, I came from a rich family, you came from a rich family, we can, swap cows and build an empire, that kind of energy, right? Whereas the king and queen of coins have actually done a lot of work within themselves. All right. Because the queen of pentacles, you can also sort of interpret her also as the empress to some degree, right? The empress is like the all-encompassing of all of the queens. But she really does have that earth energy because she's very grounded. She knows exactly what she wants, exactly what Naomi had said. Being in the place of being able to speak about what it is that you want and what it is that you're desiring within the relationship. And that's really what the Queen of Swords, or the Queen of Coins, represents, right? She's got a very grounded type of energy. Whereas the King of Coins, he started off as like maybe the page or, the male person in a company, and worked his way up, as a king. So he's, he doesn't need to impress anybody. He doesn't need to be in that place of, snobbing anybody. He's usually quite generous. Like, he's a good person all around. He's an all around type of energy, right? But this is what I'm getting from Ricky, is that he seems to be maturing. He seems to be growing up. He's starting to recognize the fact that, he really wasn't in the best energy, maybe perhaps when you guys first started dating, or when you even first started communicating, and even at, as to the beginning of last year, right? Or in the middle of last year, when you guys did reconnect again. And it kind of feels like he really went into himself, especially with this hermit energy. So what I'm actually being shown is, exactly as Naomi said, is by speaking, what it is that you want from this relationship will really help the relationship progress. You don't need to do it like immediately, I guess, but I wouldn't put up with any childish behavior. It's like, you don't want him to regress back to that page of coins, right? But I'm also getting here the magician with the 10 of coins. So this is really, it feels, when I first saw that, my first thing that came through was, I feel like you have been manifesting this energy in some way. And I feel like your own inner work has created and helped manifest his growth as well, whereas he's been doing the same. I feel like he came to a realization of how important this relationship is, or will be, or could be, and I feel like he's putting in that manifestation energy as well. So I truly hope that this has given you, some clarity. I do feel his intentions are good. Again, you may have to have that conversation, of what it is that you're expecting from this relationship and all of that. But I feel like it's got a really good start to it. So yeah, I hope that's helped. All right. So we still got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we've still got 5 readings. I'm actually going to close the reading list for paid readings right now. Again, if we possibly have time, we will do a lottery, but we're going to see where our time is. There's absolutely no guarantee on our time on this, but again, love to you. I truly hope that gave you some clarity. So thank you so much for being part of the show today. All right, Eliza, Luna, I'm just going to see. Luna, are you here with us?
I'm seeing a lot of my viewers from my TikTok come in, so I just wanted to say hi and thank you guys for coming in. And Daniel is Marlene's husband, and he came in to say hi as well. So I just wanted to say thank you guys for coming into the show.
I think I accidentally blocked him.
Oh, he was speaking in Spanish. Okay. He wasn't saying anything bad. Okay.
I'm not sure how to unblock him. Just tell him to come in again. It should work. I think it's a temporary thing. I wasn't sure if he was like, I was like, who the heck is this? I should have asked. Let me just see if I can unblock somehow. Sorry about that, Daniel. Just give me 1 second. Okay. Let me just see if I can figure this out, because I don't want him being blocked. That was purely my mistake. So let me just see here.
I think his wife is still in here, Marlene. So Marlene, just let him know she wasn't sure. She thought maybe it was
We get a lot of
trolls.
I
have
lot
trolls
of
on
trolls,
TikTok
and
too.
so I'm truly sorry. I did not mean to block him whatsoever. I just see something different. And I'm like, automatically, oh, okay. So, all right. So the next one is Luna, and Luna, sorry, just give me 1 second. I'm just finding your question. And again, thank you so much. And Daniel, sorry, I didn't mean to block you. I will unblock after the show, but I don't think I can do it from mobile. So I'll just double check that.
So I see Luna's question.
Okay.
Well, her name is Elisa.
Yeah.
Elisa, she's a Gemini. She wants to know in terms of love, of life, is there something potentially coming in? And she's trying to look into like a time frame, weeks, months, and so on. Okay. So I'm getting new love for you coming in or has already entered. No. Okay. So I'm getting new love coming in, and it's going to come in. I'm picking up this year. Is there new love coming in for Alyssa this year? Yeah, I am getting this year, honey. She wants to get it down to the month. Let me see if I can get a month. Can I get a month for Elisa? Okay. Is this new love coming in for Elisa this month? September. I'm getting like October, Elisa. I'm getting October at this time. I'm sorry. Miguel had to take Liliana to the potty, guys. I'm sorry. But I am getting around September. If not by the end of this month.
Yeah. You're going to laugh when you see what I actually pulled out. So that's pretty cool. Yeah. Okay. So, what was her question again? I didn't hear the whole thing. Sorry.
So she wants to know in terms of love and life. So she wants to know if there's any potential love coming through for her, and anything else you can pick up about love life, her love life.
Okay. So, there is some things here. So the first thing that I'm actually getting through here is this is going to be really important for you, Luna. You have to let go of the past. You have to let go of that past energy. You got to let go of the disappointments, because it is showing, especially with the Seven of Swords coming through here, and the King of Swords, that you seem to have possibly attracted people that were in a place of maybe not being as emotional as you could be, or that you are. And you also, especially with that King of Swords, because this can be somebody that, they might be very smart and and they have good qualities. The King of Swords usually represents somebody of a higher value, I guess is the best way to say it. When I mean higher value, it means that, they place value into their own lives. Like, they can be business people, lawyers, doctors, they don't have to be in that energy, but they do have a higher sense of themselves. But also they can be really unemotional. Okay. And they can be unavailable, right? And she actually says, I do attract emotionally unavailable men, right? And because of this, there has been these past disappointments, and they might have even been in that place, especially with that Seven of Swords. I do feel this energy coming through here where, they're not always being completely honest, but also the Seven of Swords can talk about our own dishonesty within ourselves. It's sort of like, we recognize the qualities of what somebody is doing, or the behaviors, what somebody's doing, but we tend to get into this place of trying to fool ourselves and going, oh, I can change them. Oh, they'll come around. Oh, they'll do this and they'll do that. And meanwhile, that's where we get into that energy of wait, right? And so basically what it's saying is try to let go of that, and start manifesting in a different, perspective, right? Don't hang on to that past. Don't hang on to, the unemotionally unavailable men. And I actually really feel like, if you were to spend, just took, 5-10 minutes a day, when you take a bath, when you take a shower, spend some energy of manifesting what it is that you're really wanting, right? What it is that you're really desiring within a person. And when I say that, it's people will say, people settle in their heads, and that's so sad, right? Because they'll say, just as an example, I'm just going to tell you something that I'd heard, in the past. It was like, I want them to be faithful and loyal and da da da. Okay, well, that's great. But, do you want them to have a car? Well, I don't care if they don't have a car. Yeah, you will care that they don't have a fucking car. You will, when you're picking up their dirty ass all the time or driving them around. You want to go on a date on a bus? Like, that's for 12-year-olds. Like, seriously. Okay. Well, yeah, but what if they had a DUI? You want to date somebody with a DUI or somebody that hasn't been responsible and can now drive? You know what I mean? And so those are the things that we got to start asking ourselves, because a lot of times we do settle. And, it's kind of like saying, I don't want to date a drunk. And then we try to go to the bar to meet somebody. Like, it's ludicrous, right? Like it's repeating a pattern. I don't want to date somebody who drinks. So I'm just going to go over to the neighborhood bar and plop myself on the bar stool and have a beer and see who joins me. Well, probably a drunk. So that's what we have to do. And I'm not saying that that's always, what it is that you're doing, but this is just a general statement. And so what we have to do, is remove that energy of what it is that we don't want, and start putting in the energy. So imagine yourself having a great conversation with somebody who's interacting with you. You don't need to put a face to it. You just need to have the energy of it, right? You just need to have that energy of walking away and kind of having that same energy as it would be of talking to somebody who totally gets you, is on your level, is completely, emotionally available towards this relationship, and start placing that energy towards stuff like that. Now, this is where Naomi's going to laugh at me, because you actually said September, October. What I pulled up was the 10 of Coins, which actually talks about October, right? Because for me, Pentacles is always, the fall, and October would be the 10th month. And I also pulled in the Knight of Coins. So this really, for me, kind of talks about, don't be in a rush. Luna, is what I keep getting. Don't be in a rush, to settle or to be in that place of allowing just anyone, because this is never a race, right? It's not a race for a relationship. And what I'm getting here, especially with that Knight of Coins, so the Knight of Coins really talks about slow and steady progress. And I feel like, this person could come in, around the September, October time period. But again, don't be in that place of, okay, I found this person, I'm going to embrace them fully. Let them prove themselves to you. And I really feel like that's something that you need to hear, that these people need to start, or this person needs to prove himself to you. Now, that doesn't mean to sit back and do nothing, but this means that, we're not in a place of completely embracing them until they also start to embrace us, right? And not in the breadcrumbing way, but in the way of proving themselves, and in the way of saying, hey, you want to go on a date Friday? And they actually freaking message you on Thursday to confirm the date, or even Wednesday, because they can't wait to see you, or whatever it is, right? So this is that type of energy. But again, really start putting that manifestation energy into something like that. I'm also getting the Ace of Wands. So it's not even a bad idea to take the next couple of months and really write out what it is that you want, because that Ace of Wands really talks about manifestation too. And she says, I've always been the one to cater and wait around. Yeah, no more of that, right? Because of what I'm getting here is by allowing somebody to prove themselves. And this goes for men or women. A lot of people, will hear me talk and they'll say, well, why does the man always have to prove himself? No, honey. Women have to prove themselves too, right?
Yes.
And it's got to be a mutual respect here. It's got to be a mutual respect. And, I can't remember what was the name of that book. It was, or there was some sort of book, I guess, that, came out. Oh, Jesus, I don't know, 10 years ago. I don't even know if you remember what it was, but it was like, it was basically some, excuse my language, it was like some bitchy book where this woman, where women, they said, oh, I'm not going to date somebody if they don't message me, by Wednesday for Friday, or if they want, if they want to marry me, they're going to have to, basically horse and carriage and an 8,000, carat diamond ring and this kind of thing. No, no, no. You know what? But it's basically putting that same energy in that you're willing to give, that you want to have received as well, right? And I do feel with that Knight of Coins coming through is slow and steady, progress, right? We don't need to jump into a relationship. So many people really jump into a relationship without actually giving the relationship a chance to grow, right? But this Ace of Coins is coming in, as well as the Three of Wands. So this is really saying what it is that you want is going to be manifested. Again, there's no rush for it, because the Three of Wands, is that energy, I guess, as we go back into patience, but it's the patience and knowing it's coming, right? That, he knows his ship is on the way to shore. There's no need to panic. There's no need to be anxious about it. There's no need to rush, or even to settle for what it is that you don't want. And that's exactly what I feel, is happening here. And I do feel that going into the fall energy, this is going to be much stronger for you. So I hope that helped. I hope that gave you some clarity.
And I also, I shuffled my love deck for her as well. So I confirmed, you confirmed time frame. And then when I shuffled the love deck, it says very soon.
I love that. Yeah.
And then the message that it comes with it is what you said. Clearly decide what you want.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
like, we can't make this stuff up,
It truly is amazing. As and generally as people, right? Us as humans. And I get, Luna, this isn't towards you and absolutely anyway. This is just, something that, kind of my rant kind of sparked or whatever. But we're so willing to be in a place of settling and somebody, I posted something the other day on Facebook. I'm trying to remember exactly what it said here. Just give me 1 second, because I actually thought it was actually kind of important, and it really kind of sparked a few people coming in, right? Oh yeah, it says, do you know what's sexier than a bad boy? A grown-ass man with his shit together.
Yes.
Right. And all of these people were like, whoa, what's a grown-ass man? And blah, blah, blah. And I can't find the right woman. And all of that energy. And it's like, okay, but when you're on Facebook begging for somebody to date you, that's not a grown-ass man. Not a grown-ass woman either, right? This is reversed energy. So,
yeah.
It's not just about the males, it's about the females as well. And, a grown-ass man wants to date a grown-ass woman, right? And vice versa. So basically what you're saying is that you want somebody, who can take care of themselves, somebody, who's mature, emotionally mature, somebody who's, da da da, and whatever it is that your qualities are that you're seeking. And we tend to slip below that level of quality, right? Because we get into a place of maybe they'll improve, maybe they can change. I see the potential within this person, and potential means dick shit all. If the person, you could sit in an energy of potential. I have the potential to make 10 million fucking dollars tomorrow. But, let's be realistic here. Okay. There's some reality that we need. Maybe next week I can make that, but not at this particular, you know what I mean? Like this is when we sit in the energy of potential, we're really in a place of waiting. We're waiting. We're waiting for them to change, waiting for them to grow up, waiting for this, waiting for that, right? And, once we're over the age of like 15, people should have more knowledge of what it is that they're seeking, within their relationships, right? So Anyway, I'm glad that helped, Luna. So, I really do feel like, we both feel like somebody, coming in fairly soon here. So just again, have that faith and, don't be in a mess. Don't be in an energy of waiting. Be in the energy of like, I'm willing to receive when it appears. When it appears, I will receive it if it's the best decision for me. I think that might be a good way of looking at it. We're going to go to Samantha. So I know Samantha I think Samantha was asking about her spiritual gifts.
Did she put her question in the chat or no? She sent it to you.
I believe she sent it to me. She did put it into the chat too. It might have just.
Oh, I think I see. No.
Oh, and hi, Jasmine. Good to see you. I'm sorry we didn't say hello earlier. If you're still watching, thank you so much for coming on.
Oh, so yeah, she had asked for general, and then you asked if there was any specific.
Right.
Okay. So she wants to know, like, in terms of her abilities or.
Yeah, spiritual gifts. Okay.
Yeah, I am getting yes. You have spiritual gifts. You are very intuitive. I'm getting empath as well, where you can pick up other people's energies. I can never say this word correctly. Claircognizance.
Right.
Is that right, Kathy?
Yeah,
I'm picking that up for her. And yeah, as far as that's all I'm getting for her. I never really do card readings for abilities. I usually do my rods, but that's what I'm picking up at this time.
I absolutely agree with you. The first two things that came through were empathic ability and claircognizance. What I'm going to do is I'm actually because as soon as I heard the word empath, I feel like this is going to be really important for you. Okay. Samantha, because, sometimes when I tap into somebody's gifts, spirit wants to jump in with how to, what to do with them and how to do it. Okay. So your empathy, your empathic, needs work. All right. And when I say that needs work, this doesn't mean that you're less empathic. Basically what they're saying is that you really have to get into an energy of grounding yourself, Samantha. Okay. Because it's kind of a scattered energy. I hope that makes sense. So especially with the Scorpio energy coming in. So you can read people very, very well. You have the ability to, but so, okay. Shh, just a second.
It's like when somebody's woke, now they're like, yeah, she's awake. She wants to know about us. Let's get through. Let's come through.
Right. And so it's like, okay, calm down. Just one thing at a time. All right. Hang on. Okay, so basically the idea is that what they're trying to say to me is that you are very empathic. Okay, you can pick up energy from people. The problem is, okay, that basically what they're saying here is that you really need to do a lot of grounding work, because there seems to be a little bit and hey, don't shoot the messenger, but they're talking, it's a little dramatic. Okay. So you might be around people, that are really giving off a lot of energy, or whether they're sad or upset or happy or whatever it is, you do pick up on that energy. But first of all, you tend to self place it in some way. So let's say somebody walks into a room and they're in a really, crabby place. You might project it onto yourself and kind of go, oh, why are they upset with me? Where it has nothing to do with you. Okay. Or you might get, or also too, is that when you're with somebody, when you leave them, even if you know that it has nothing to do with you, when you leave them, you tend to carry that energy with you. Okay. And this is where they're saying that there is a problem with this energy, because it does in some way. Also, I'm hearing that it does affect your health. I'm actually hearing something about your thyroid. So I don't know if and again, I don't really do reading, like health readings, but I am hearing something about your thyroid. So I don't feel like this is, I don't know if you have problems with this or anything like that. They're just bringing it up. But I do feel that besides, maybe perhaps getting that checked, if you feel that you're having some issues with it. But also just by actually starting to really ground yourself is going to make a huge difference in moving forward. So it almost feels like what I'm getting here is it's like learning how to, when we have empathic energy, what we tend to do is we sort of put it into a great big circular energy. Okay. And we might focus like a big long tunnel, and we might focus that energy onto somebody, and then we're receiving all of this, junk that they're kind of giving us. Like we're receiving all of their thoughts, emotions, and all of that stuff, right? But you're allowing it to channel right into yourself. And this can actually make it really difficult for you, or you can kind of be in a place where again, you might be taking it home with you, or you might be, it might be staying with you for a while. And what I keep getting here is that by the grounding, this will actually, so it takes from that big tunnel to more of like a funnel, right? So you're still receiving the energy, but you're now able to almost ward off the energy that it's not needed or not necessary. And you're only allowing the little pinprick of energy to come in. It doesn't mean that you're less empathic or less intuitive or less claircognizant. It just means like you're not walking around with all of that energy. You're still allowing yourself to receive it and get the signals and get the messages that you need to receive. I'm also hearing too something about visions. So I'm assuming, do you get a lot of visions, Samantha? I don't know if you can just answer that in the chat, because it feels like I keep getting, I don't know if that's claircognizant or not. Honestly, I get confused with all the clair, but it feels
like a gut feeling, like how can I explain? Yeah, like this gut feeling, like this knowing, like you just know it. And it can be like, just random thought, can pop up in your head and you just know it. So yeah, and it's funny you're asking her about if she's getting visions or anything, because I decided to pull a card for her to see if I did get anything about it, and I did get look for signs. So they're sending you messages in certain ways.
Yeah. And it feels like, because I literally heard like signs or visions, something along that line. Sometimes
she's having dreams, she says.
Okay. Yeah. So basically, I do feel that only when I dream, I know something happens, or when someone lies to me and feeling something happens. Okay. Because it feels like with the visions, a lot of signs. Okay. So because what they were showing me was like that visions. I just kept seeing visions, so I feel like to really, it really comes down to a lot of trust in there as well, trusting yourself. But the grounding work is really going to make a difference. I feel like that by doing the grounding work, and the releasing work, and even if you need to, find a way of cleansing your energy, let's say you go out in public or you go to a mall or something like that. If you come home at the end of the day and you find yourself being in a place of, anxiousness, or, something along that line, make sure that, you take it for what it is, right? And recognize the fact that you're picking up other people's energy, and find a way to release it as well. She says, I dream of people and then I see them days later. So yeah, that's like the vision part. Like it just feels
That's
like
awesome.
you're getting, you're getting those visions, no matter how they come, whether they're dreams or whatever. Shelley, thank you so much for joining us. We are closing the, the reading list for today. But thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you can join us next week. And she says she's in Australia and she's hard to catch. We are hard to catch. We truly appreciate you catching us when you can. Thank you, thank you, thank you. That means a lot to us. We truly appreciate it. Yeah, Samantha, I feel like continuing work on this. So I'm actually being told here also, so they're telling me, when you ground yourself, when you get that energy or that place of confidence within yourself, of grounding, there's more things that are coming for you. Okay, there's more spiritual gifts that you're going to be growing into. I'm also actually hearing some mediumship is going to be happening. Okay, I don't know if it's happened yet. That might be something, again, if you've already been receiving, those images or, those, messages from those that have passed over. But I keep also feeling and hearing that, you could be being guided into a mediumship type of role. Okay.
I just
And
recently made her a moderator on my
oh,
lives.
did you? Okay.
I
That's so
did. I just made her a moderator, and so it's good that you brought up the whole her picking up all these energies. So being
okay.
that she's gonna be a moderator, I think it's very important that you have, things at home that you can cleanse yourself with, because she can pick up a lot of energies while we're in the live.
100%. That's really good, because I do feel that is going to be necessary for you. Absolutely. It is going to make a huge difference, actually, to be honest. It's funny because, like, you would think, now here's the thing. I've been doing this for a long time. So I feel like I naturally tend to cleanse myself. Like it just kind of, happens. Like I don't take, I guess the best way to say it is I don't take my work home with me. Right. Or at least I pretend to. Right. But, there are days where after, doing a live, or maybe I've been, on the chat lines for a long time, or I've been doing a lot of personal readings, or there's been something really, super emotional coming through, you can hang on to it a little bit. And you just have to remember you're not letting go of the energy of that person or the reading, or especially if there was sympathy or empathy towards somebody, but you are releasing it, off of your essence, so that you don't need to carry it around. You can still have, compassion towards the people. It just means that you don't need to be in that place of absorbing all of that energy, especially, being a moderator, right? And especially being on a place like TikTok, where there's going to be good and bad,
Yeah.
coming through all the time, right? So yeah, I hope that gave you some clarity. I hope it helped. We're gonna go on to Fabiola. I pick up a lot of energy from my kids. I can pick up from them from a distance if something is wrong with them. See, this is really good. And you'll probably but it's interesting because I still feel some form of mediumship coming in for you, but also, you saying that, and this isn't so much particularly a message from your guides that were coming in. I also, what I'm getting here is that, you might even want to check into distance healing at some point. That actually might be,
Oh, yeah.
yeah,
That'd be
especially
good.
if she's receiving the distance of her children. It really doesn't, even though our children are like, our blood soul type of thing, but that, we can channel that into other areas, right? And you might even want
Yeah.
to look into distance healing. Okay. So, something to keep in mind. But if you are going to do healing, I feel like that's where the spirits kept talking about the grounding, because you really need to be grounded in order to do healing. right? Like distance healing. This could be Reiki. This could be, some sort of, quantum healing, whatever it is, right? But yeah, you need to be in a place of being grounded. So I feel like, one path is going to lead to the next. And like I said, as soon as you're grounded, more gifts are going to start appearing for you. So you'll see where that goes. Kay, you're going to be right after Fabiola, actually. So you're second. There's one person ahead of you here. I just have to find Fabiola's question now. Just a second.
So she wants to know if how is her finances going to be in the next few months. And she wants to know in terms of her love life in regards to a guy that she really likes, and she's wondering if he's going to return.
Okay, I know she did put the name of the guy down there. I don't know if you see it.
I don't see it. I was just gonna ask you if you can ask.
Yeah, I seem to remember.
Did you send it in the donation? I don't know.
I'm just taking a quick look. Just give me 1 second here.
Okay.
I feel so bad about Daniel. Please tell him I'm sorry.
You know what? Daniel's also he's been a little sensitive lately because his wife has a baby on the way and she's due like any second. So I think there's a lot of like, frustration coming in for him. And I was recently live with him, or not with him, but I was recently live on my TikTok, and he got on, he said hi, but I wasn't looking at my screen, and he felt bad. And I'm like, Marlene, I wasn't looking at my screen. She's like, oh, he's a little sensitive. And I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, it's probably that baby that's coming, and he's probably feeling rejected. I don't know, but
I feel bad. It's just sometimes we only got, because, we do get a lot of the, hey, watch the naked girls on YouTube kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like, or other, really negative comments. And so, I kind of get a little bit too quick in the whatever, but I will unblock them when I find them. So Fabiola is a Libra, and the gentleman's name is Dwayne, and he is a Cancer.
What's his name? Dwayne?
Yes.
Dwayne. Okay. Okay, so far I'm getting that your finances will get better. You will be financially stable. I'm not getting it's going to start this month. I'm getting more September. In regards to Dwayne, I am getting he is going to come back at some point. He will be reaching out to you. And I am, it's going to be this year. I'm getting it's going to be this year. But at this time, I'm also getting you need to try to disconnect from the world. Try to disconnect yourself. Like, try not to get too attached to certain things or certain situations. At this time, even this guy, try to disconnect yourself from, that energy at this time. I am getting he is going to return at some point and reach out to you. So be patient and let things flow naturally. Let me shuffle some for my other deck. See, and then again, I'm getting meditation. Like, there's you need to try to relax. Disconnect, do something else that you really like. Maybe get into some kind of series that you're interested in, so you're not focused so much in certain situations. And I'm getting look for signs, or you're getting signs. You might be getting repetitive numbers, or maybe sequence of numbers like 222 or 333 and so on and so forth. Or you're getting a repetitive of a specific number. And you should look into that and Google what those numbers mean. And it'll give you an idea of what that means and what the message is. I'm also getting I'm also getting it's up to you. So anything you're currently struggling with right now, whatever situation you're currently in right now, is really more in your hands. There's more that needs to come from you for specific situations. I'm not sure if it's in relations to love, relationship, or anything you're currently struggling with at this time. But I'm getting that you need to take control of certain situations at this time, and that's what I'm getting for her. That's all I'm getting for her right now, for Fabiola.
So Fabiola, I do feel so the first card when we asked about the finances changing was the Empress coming through. So the Empress really talks about abundance, right? But again, it's very similar to what Naomi said. You have to create it in some way of your own making. So have a good night, Cliff. Thank you so much for watching. We really appreciate it. So what's coming through here, especially with the Ace of Swords that's following it, okay? So we have the Empress with the Ace of Swords. So this is really talking about, some sort of clarity coming to you. I don't know your financial situation. I don't know, how much energy to put into it or whatever, is happening here. But basically what it is showing me here is that there is a lot of anxiety coming through here. But we've also got the that's the Nine of Swords. We've also got the Nine of Pentacles with the Ten of Pentacles. So it's basically exactly pretty much what Naomi said, is that you got to take charge of your own financial prosperity in some way. I don't know if this is, in regards to looking for a job or needing a better job or whatever, but it does feel, or maybe curbing the spending. Again, I don't know, because there's no really information that's coming through here, but it does have to do with kind of taking charge of yourself, to some degree, having accountability or having responsibility in regards to your own finances in some movement forward. But with that energy of the Empress coming through, this is really positive. This is really that the abundance is there for you. Okay, that's what I keep getting. It also feels like you might be really distracted or focused in on other things at the moment too. And this, this might even have to do, with this gentleman. I do feel, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, I do feel like a little bit of element of depression that's coming through here. Like you might tend to get focused in on, something that might not be working out rather than what is working out, or where you are in the place of gratitude. And a lot of times we tend to forget about gratitude, even, I can't remember who it was. I know that there's a story about this, but basically, they really were, they actually were in the movie, The Law of Attraction. But, sometimes, when we get into a slump or whatever, it's a good story to remember, whether or not you believe in his teachings or whoever. I can't remember his name right now because it's not ringing in my head right now. But, how he started was like living in, a one-room apartment, basically no furniture. All he had was a pencil and pretty much a pen. And he started writing out the things that he wanted, from life, or the things that he was grateful for. So what was he grateful for? He was grateful for the roof over his head, the fact that he had a meal, the fact that he had shoes, the fact that he had pants. The next day he started writing out the fact that he had the ability to walk, or the ability to go to a job, and it keeps going. And I feel like this is a good reminder in some ways towards you, is to have gratitude for what it is that we have, because in that way, we also, not only do we have the gratitude, but we're building the abundance moving forward, right? So when we're in a place, because I kept feeling, some sort of element, a little bit of depression that was coming through here, or you might be focused in more on the negative than you are on the positive. aspects of things for yourself. And so when we start putting that little bit of gratitude, even if it's just one new thing a day, looking up at the sky and going, I'm, grateful for the sun today, or I'm grateful for this blade of grass, or I'm grateful for this pretty flower, or I'm grateful for whatever it is, it's that easy. But what it keeps showing me is the fact that, you're going to start doing this, or you may, start, allowing this to come through. You're going to see very shortly, actually, and I feel the same time frame, similar to Mimi's, is going more into a little bit of the beginning of the fall coming through. Here's what I kept getting. So just spend the next month kind of doing that, and you will even start seeing that progress day by day by day by day as far as your finances go. Here's the thing: the universe doesn't recognize the difference between a dime and $100 bill. So, if you see a dime on the floor, treat it as if you just found $100. Or if you have, only pennies to rub together in your wallet, treat them as though, you've got the wealth of the world, if you can. And it may not happen immediately, but you will start seeing that progress. And that's what I keep getting for you. It's about manifestation. Now, as far as Dwayne goes, I do feel him coming back too. I'm really getting something about boundaries here. Okay. This is really coming through very strong, Fabiola, in regards to you having boundaries for him. I do feel he's going to return, but I do feel his immediate energy right away from return is, on his terms. I get an energy of his terms. And what I mean by that is, I don't know when you guys last talked or anything like that, but it does feel like he tries to push the boundaries of your relationship, or he did try to push the boundaries in some way of your relationship, or pushed your boundaries in general. And it really is coming through here that you need to, because I feel like in some ways they really put a lot of weight or pressure on you. Okay. And I'm not exactly sure again what that's about. You may want to just confirm in the comments, but I do feel him coming back. But again, you're going to have to start putting your boundaries up with this person. Now, as far as forward future moving ahead, I'm getting good energy here. I'm getting the star. Like the potential is, the star card really talks about potential and faith and being in this place of being able to receive what it is that we want. I don't feel this being too long. Did you give a timeline? I can't remember, Namie, of when he was returning, because I keep feeling in the next like month or two.
I had gotten a timeline for her finances. For her finances are going to start getting better in September, and I was picking up more like a budgeting situation.
Okay.
As far as Dwayne, I did get he would return this year.
Okay.
And I'm getting the same. I'm getting, if not this month.
Yeah, I don't feel
I
this
am getting
month at all.
September.
And even then, even with September, I think you had said originally, like it's within this year, but it might not be immediately like within this year. I mean, like not like September. Timelines can be so wackadoodle, but again, I do feel within this year for sure. But the boundaries are going to be really important. I do feel the boundaries are going to be really important within this relationship, right? So,
Yeah,
and you're so welcome.
I'm sorry.
No, go
I
ahead.
got that she should wait for Dwayne to reach out. Don't reach out to Dwayne. That's what I picked up.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It won't have the same meaning in regards to this relationship if you reach out to him. I would actually, when he reaches out, I'd actually even give him a day or two. Like, because you do, like, I feel like in some way he jeopardizes boundaries. Like, I don't mean jeopardize like in a bad thing or anything like that. But you know, like he definitely pushes them. He definitely pushes them. Like that's what I get is he pushes the boundary. And so, you know, you kind of got you got to be a little bit of the dominant one in this relationship. That's what I'm saying. Don't let him, you know, be the aggressor, or allow him to be the chaser, but you don't want him to be the aggressor, if that makes any sense. Like, you know, it's not on his terms, it's not even really on your terms, it's the both of you. You have to set up those boundaries, right? So I hope that that's given you some clarity.
And thank you, Fabiola. She came from my TikTok too. I didn't know.
Thank you so much. Yeah, we truly appreciate it. We really, that's wonderful. Thank you. So our last one here is Kay. And Kay is saying, I don't see myself staying in Maine. How will my life in Fargo go for me? And she's planning on moving there in a couple of months. I have to run to the washroom, so I'm going to just turn off my camera while you answer that, if you don't mind taking a look into that question.
Okay, where was she moving? I didn't catch that part.
She wants to move to Fargo, and she wants to know how it will go, and she's planning on moving there in a few months.
Okay.
Okay, I'll be right back. Okay.
So I'm definitely getting, Kay, that you should be going to Fargo. I am getting that is the right decision that you are making at this time. I am getting that is what is on your path at this time, and I'm not getting that you should stay in Maine. So definitely Fargo is what I am picking up for you. And give me a few seconds. I'm going to shuffle my cards here. I'm getting success. I am getting success. So that's another confirmation that this move is what you should be doing at this time. And be super grateful for everything that you have. Some things may not make sense at the time, or sometimes you feel like, why are these things happening? Why are they not moving fast enough? And so on and so forth. But I'm getting you shouldn't have any kind of worry at this down, and don't wear yourself down with all these doubts and worries. So you're on the right path, and moving to Fargo is the right decision at this time. And take time as well to enjoy peace in your life. Okay. So after this move happens, you know, and enjoy the move and embrace this new place that you're going to be living in. I'm also getting you should be listening to your intuition at this time as well. So, you know, whatever gut feelings you're getting, trust those gut feelings. You know, they're there. You're getting those gut feelings for a reason. And then the last thing I'm getting for you is be assertive. I don't know why I'm picking them up for you at this time. I don't know if you have to set boundaries with a certain person, or it's just a matter of you taking the situation into your own hands and be confident about it, and be super confident, no worries, no doubts. And that's what I'm getting at this time for her, Kathy.
Yeah. Okay, so first of all, I'm going to start off with about moving to Fargo. You know, it's interesting because I really agreed with Nami, but it was interesting because the first thing I felt was you getting pulled towards, you know, this area. And then Nami brought up intuition, like use your intuition at this time. And I really kept feeling like there was a pull towards that. Interesting enough, I did pull out the Queen of Cups. So this really talks about, you know, trusting yourself, trusting your intuition, using your own particular psychic skills. Try not to be in a place of too emotional. Just really follow the intuition and, you know, the thoughts that you have in regards to moving there. But they are saying it is time to leave the past behind. You know, walking away from, you know, from things that, especially with that Seven of Swords again coming through and the Eight of Cups, right? It's time for a new start. And again, that Eight of Cups really talks about our spiritual intuition and following our spiritual intuition that's coming in, in for us, right? And I feel like this move will help. Now, as far as the weather and the flooding and tornadoes, I don't know much about that.
I actually just asked about it. Wherever she's gonna be living, I'm not getting that she has to have any kind of worries about the weather. When something does come, tornado or flood, I'm currently getting that that's not something that she has to worry about. So wherever she's gonna live is probably gonna be a good area where she's not gonna be affected as much.
Yeah. And will you find a good job there? You will, but again, it's going to really depend on a lot of your trusting yourself too, because I do feel, the employment is there for you. I do feel that you'll find a job there. It may not be right off the start exactly what it is that you want, but I do feel, in
I
order
got this.
Okay. Like, right off the bat, it might not be exactly what it is that you're desiring, but that doesn't mean to give up, right? That doesn't mean to be in a place of stalemate or stall or anything like that. It basically just says, it's like if you have to work at, 7-Eleven for a few months until something else comes along, that's okay. That's cool. Whatever, right? Just keep applying. But
Mhm.
because I do feel that you'll be in the position or, something that will be really beneficial to you while you're there.
Yeah.
One of the things I actually am hearing here, Kay, is that even if it's a job that you're not particularly happy about, you tend to put a lot of energy into the job itself, and this could include like the people or the things that are going on. And I feel like you'll have basically a better um opportunity to find something new when you just take a job as it is. So, again, I'm just using the very basic job, of like, if let's say you find a job at 7-Eleven or something like that, whatever, just, go in, you do your shift, go home, but then place that concentration and energy towards what it is that you're really looking for. So, whether it's through manifestation, whether this is through allowing yourself or spending time on resumes or whatever it is, just you're not placing all your focus into what it is that you're doing at that time. Okay. Because even though it may not be immediately of having, the job that you're desiring or seeking in some way, I do feel it coming. It just might not be immediately as you move there. Okay. And some of that is going to depend upon the energy that you're placing into it now as well. Okay. So, and then she asks, so I don't have to worry about a natural disaster. Tell me. Um, you know, Probably by winter, by the time you move, if it's in a few months, that like, I don't know much about Fargo, but I do remember the movie Fargo, and they were wearing like a lot of fur and like really warm clothes. So like winter weather, that's from what that's what I remember. So you might want to stock up on your winter boots and stuff, but spring brings flooding. You know what? Here's the thing. If we keep focusing in on, all of the fears, how do we move forward, right? So,
Right.
just, take a look at the areas that seem to have the less, chance of stuff, right? I mean, one of the things I love about where I live I live in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. Well, I mean, we are pretty much like the natural disaster free area of the world, I think, to some degree. We don't get, unless it's like, flooding from our sewers or something like that, because, our city is a lazy bums that year or whatever, or, they don't do the proper road work or whatever. But, we don't have tsunamis or anything like that. But over the last few years we have had a few tornadoes, and it's something that we've never really had to think about. But does that mean that something can't happen, right? But something can happen no matter where you are, really, wherever where it is in the world. And so that's what we have to place in perspective, right? um you know follow your intuition again and kind of look at it and go, um, you know, where is it that where do I feel safe? Or even check out, the areas, like when you go to move there, ask them, ask the apartment buildings. And here's the thing, because you're probably not going to be buying, you're going to be renting. Make sure you get renter's insurance, because it's like, I don't know what it's like in the States, but it's like $15 a month, or something really, really super cheap, here in Canada, right? So get a renter's insurance and insure your property, because that is, again, it's just taking responsibility for ourselves and not placing all of the responsibility, onto the universe or something else, right? Check into, because a lot of places do have renter's insurance, or, you can get it. And like I said, it's usually fairly cheap, again, on, depending on how much you're actually insuring and stuff, right? But that's something to take a look into. So I feel like that, it's kind of putting the safeguards up ahead of time, so that we don't have to be sitting there in a place of worrying about not putting up the safeguards. Right? Because, it's sort of very similar to how they talk about it in the law of attraction, right? When we're thinking about bill payments, what are we going to get? We're going to get more bills.
Yeah.
Right? When we're thinking about the money flowing, the money is flowing, and, when we set up like payment plans for our bills, okay, your gas bill comes out on a particular day, whatever it is, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, right? We're not really thinking about it. We just know that those are coming out on a particular day. We don't have to think about it. We don't have to, place concern on it, all of that stuff, right? And it allows us to focus in on what it is that we're trying to build, or what it is that we're trying to achieve. So, the more, I guess, safeguards to some degree that we do place around ourselves, or around our property, or around different things, it sort of relieves the stress of having to worry about them. They're there, right? It's like I said, with renter's insurance, like I own my house, I got, house insurance, and of course property insurance. So, I mean, whatever, it is what it is. If I'll feel good about my savings at the time I move. I do feel you're going to feel okay. Yeah, I
Yeah.
do feel you're going to be okay. I feel like you're going to feel good. Again, watch your spending, put up the safeguards, right? Put up the safeguards, watch your spending. Otherwise, you're going to be fine. I do feel
Yeah.
that.
I'm
Yeah.
getting the same. She's going to be financially stable for this move, and she's going to be ready.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. I hope that helped, Kay. She said she's dishing out 20,000 for a car, so now I'm anxious over my money. I totally get it, right? I totally get it. But again, when we're anxious, we're sending out anxious vibes.
Yeah.
So, change that, and just, kind of put it into the vibes of, hey, I'm manifesting, X amount of money today, or I'm manifesting this, or whatever it is, right? Because again, that will change your thought process. And, here's the thing, guys, is that if you feel, that it's really hard to change, might be something to work on in the subconscious part of our brain, right? And there are a lot of, subliminal type of manifestation videos on YouTube. There are, even binaural beats, that it helps change our brain waves. And it is something to think about, right? And some people say, well, I can't listen to that for an hour. So don't. So actually just place it, on at night before you go to bed. And then if you say, well, I can't listen to that while I'm sleeping. Okay, well, you know what? Now you're making excuses. Right? Like there comes a point where, you have to stop and go, okay, what are you willing to, sacrifice for the better good of ourselves?
Right.
You know what? Play some music on when you're doing the dishes.
When I go to sleep, I love listening to I'll put like rain sounds or storms, and
Yeah.
I'll just sit there and I relax, and I knock out, or during the day, something I really like, or I'll switch up and listen to, I don't know, something more relaxing.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And I do the same thing, like, and it's funny because I'm out like almost like that. Like as soon as I start playing, it's something that I like listening to, and it's actually somebody jibber jabbering in the background, which you would think would be really annoying, but um but by that point, my brain is ready to go to sleep, so it doesn't actually really phase me too much. And then I wake up in the middle of the night or whatever, if I have to go to the bathroom or whatever, and I'll be like, oh yeah, I hear you, okay, keep jabber jabbering, I'm going back to sleep. But it actually does put me to sleep, so it's actually really cool. I think it's kind of neat. I just want to thank everybody for watching today. We truly appreciate it. Remember, guys, subscribe, stay subscribed. Okay, don't be one of those subscribers that subscribe and then unsubscribe, because karma plays. Karma comes in, especially if you're going to keep coming back to the show for readings. We truly appreciate it. Thank you so much for watching. Namie, where can people reach you?
So you guys can look me up on TikTok, Mimi's Holistics. And in my account, you'll see my Linktree website where you can see my Etsy shop. You can see my Facebook page. So yeah, definitely TikTok. Or if you want to look me up on Facebook, Mimi's Holistics as well.
Absolutely. And guys, those of you that have come over from Namie's show, hey, you know what? I truly appreciate it. We both do.
Yay.
Like, thank you so much for being a part of, this show today. We will be here. Well, hopefully, maybe Namie will be with me next week. I don't know. We'll see. I'll have to talk to her, see what's going on. But I'll be here for sure. If you guys do want a personal reading, you can contact me on oracleintuitions.com. And thank you so much for being a part of the show. Thank you so much for your donations, and yeah, just have an amazing day, have an amazing night, have an amazing week, and we will see you next time. Take care.
Bye, guys.
Thank you
Thank
so much.
you.